Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Gurave Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bavarogina Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Shri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Shruti Smriti Puranana Valayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Shankaram Lokashankaram Apara Karuna Sindhum Jnanadam Shantarupinam Shri Chandrasekhara Gurum Pranamami Mudanvaham Pranamami Mudanvaham Parityajyamunam Vatadasthitin Vrajan Bharatasya Pradeshat Pradesham Madhusyandi Vacha Janan Dharma Margena Yan Shri Jayendro Gururbhati Chitte Namama Shankaran Vakya Vijayendra Saraswati Shri Gurum Sishtamarganunetaram Sanmati Pradam Sadguru Charanaravinda Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So, in the last couple of classes, we have seen an introduction not mainly for Bhagavad Gita, but we have seen the introduction for the holy scriptures that are present in Sanatana Dharma. So, we have seen there are three types of prasthanas, the paths. Vedaha, called as Shruti Prasthana, because Vedas are the major source of all knowledge. According to Shastra, Vedas are the sources of all the knowledge that are there. And then came Smriti Prasthana, which is Bhagavad Gita. With respect to Vedanta, the Shruti Prasthana, the path of Vedas, which are enshrined in the later part of the Vedas called as Upanishads. And then comes the Smriti Prasthana, which is Bhagavad Gita, which is going to be our subject matter. And then we have Nyaya Prasthana or Sutra Prasthana, which are the Brahma Sutras written by Vyasacharya, Bhadarayana. So we have seen that. Now we are going to slowly enter into the Bhagavad Gita proper. So before seeing the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, we will have to see some introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Especially Adi Shankaracharya's introduction to Bhagavad Gita. So we are going to follow very closely the Shankara Bhashyam for Bhagavad Gita. There are several Bhashyams for Bhagavad Gita, of which we will follow the Shankara Bhashyam for Bhagavad Gita. What Shankara says is Bhagavan has created this entire Jagat. So this thing we have to accept. Why? Because Vedas says so. We say Pramana, Veda Pramana. Pramana means of knowledge. I hear things. How do I hear? How do I get the knowledge of sound? My ears are the means of knowledge for the sound. My eyes are the means of knowledge for vision. Forms, colors and forms, my eyes are the means of knowledge. My nose is the means of knowledge for smell, right? My twak, my skin is the means of knowledge for touch, right? My tongue is the means of knowledge for taste. So when we say means of knowledge, it means that that organ through which we can get to the knowledge is called as means of knowledge. In Sanskritam, it is called as pramanaha, pramanam. Right. So when we analyze the means of knowledge, we have to understand something. There are many things that acts as corollaries, but let's just take 2 or 3 points which are absolutely necessary for these scriptural studies. The first point is that every means of knowledge, every pramana has got its own field that onto which it works for. Meaning, the field of eyes is vision. In modern science, wavelengths. Right? My eyes can only see forms, colors. That is the field of eyes. My ears can only listen to that longitudinal waves or transverse waves. Right? My ears can only act as means of knowledge if there is any pressure differences in the atmosphere. Right? That's how sound is formed. Transverse waves, longitudinal waves, we say. My nose, it can only act as a means of knowledge for the domain of smell. Right? Every means of knowledge has got a limitation. Every domain, every means of knowledge has got a limitation, even within the electromagnetic spectrum. Because eyes, we say, eyes can see light. Right? Only through light we see color and forms, etc. Even within the light, eyes cannot see all the wavelengths. Electromagnetic spectrum is light. But we can only see from 400 to 700 nanometer wavelength of light. Lower than 400, ultraviolet rays, we cannot see. Higher than 700, infrared rays, our eyes cannot see. Even though the domain of the sense organ eyes, is electromagnetic spectrum. Even within that electromagnetic spectrum, we can only perceive a narrow range of wavelengths. Lower than that wavelength, we cannot see. Higher than that wavelength, we cannot see. The same way with ears. We can only listen to a range of hertz, Hz. Lower than the hertz, pitch, we cannot hear. Higher volume also, we cannot hear. Hypersonic. The wavelengths that dogs can hear, humans cannot hear. The wavelengths that bats, we have organisms called as bats. They can listen to, they move by emitting sound waves. They don't have eyes. Their eyes will not work. They move by emitting sound waves, echo. Right? They listen to the echo and then they move. But we cannot hear their sound. Sonar is there. We cannot listen to the sounds of sonar. It works by sound. Why? Ultrasound technology, scan. We go to doctor, he wants to see what is inside our body. So he performs something called as ultrasound scan. How does ultrasound scan work? It works by making sound. And that sound gets reflected when it hits certain parts of the body. All of those things happen while we not hearing the sound of ultrasound scan. Right? Whales, blue whales, they move around in the ocean by making ultrasound noise. But we cannot hear, even though sound is the subject matter, sound is the domain of ears, we can only hear a narrow range of sound. Like that, each and every sense organ, number one, it has got a domain, it has got a field. It will work only in that field. And even in that field, it cannot listen to all the possible inputs. Even in that field, it can only listen to a narrow range of spectrum. That is the first thing that we have to understand. Second thing we have to understand is whatever that has been perceived by one source of one organ of knowledge, whatever that has been perceived by one organ of knowledge can neither be confirmed nor be denied by other organs of knowledge. We use our eyes daily. We use our ears daily, but we have never thought about these things. We need Shastra to tell this. The second statement I made was, whatever that has been perceived by one organ of knowledge, one pramanam, can neither be confirmed nor be denied by other organ of knowledge. Let us see. In front of me, I have a book. Okay. So this book is yellow in color. How do I see yellow color? Because of my eyes. And I can see yellow color only through my eyes. If I close my eyes, I can never confirm whether the book is yellow color. I can neither confirm nor deny it. This yellow color is the domain. Color is the field of eyes, right? I can neither confirm nor deny the color through my ears. I can neither confirm nor deny the color through my nose. I can neither confirm nor deny the color through my skin, through my tongue. So each field, each object of knowledge can only be perceived by a certain sense organ, and it can neither be confirmed nor be denied by other organs of knowledge, other sources of knowledge. We have to understand that. Right? Why? Because that is how nature. Right? We can confirm this in our pratyaksha anubhava. Sound. If a person is deaf, nobody can hear the sound. Other organs of knowledge cannot confirm the sound nor deny the sound. You can have a speech interpreter who can interpret the sound, but this person cannot hear the sound. We can have Braille who can translate, the forms, the alphabets into Braille alphabets. But then he's only perceiving it by touch, not by vision. Right. So the organ of knowledge, one organ of knowledge, one sense organ can neither confirm nor deny the objects that are perceived by other organs of knowledge. This is something that we have to understand. Now, coming back to organs of knowledge. So we have seen two things. Each pramana has got its own domain. I'm using organs of knowledge, sense organs, and the pramana as equivalents. Right? Each pramana has got its own domain, its own field. Only in that field it is going to work. Number two, whatever that has been confirmed by one pramana, whatever that has been perceived by one pramana, can neither be confirmed nor be denied by other pramana. These two we have to understand. Now we have to ask the question, What are the sources of knowledge? What are the sources of pramana? Shastra talks about 6 sources of knowledge. Advaita Shastra accepts that there are 6 sources of pramanas. What are they? Pratyaksha pramana. First is called as Pratyaksha pramana. It is direct perceiving. Perceiving things directly. Literally, Pratyaksha means that which is in front of your eyes. I see things. Seeing is Pratyaksha. But technically, in Advaita Shastra, Pratyaksha means direct perceiving. I see things with my own eyes. Pratyaksha pramana. I hear things. Pratyaksha pramana. Even though you hear it, because you perceive it directly, it comes under Pratyaksha pramana. Whatever you perceive with your own 5 organs of knowledge comes under Pratyaksha pramana. Right. The second, there are 6. I'm not going to tell you all the 6 because it is very, very highly technical. Let us just see 2 or 3 and then we can move ahead. The second pramana is called as Anumana pramana. Inference. Anumana pramana means inference. The famous example they give is you see a smoke. You see a smoke. What do you infer? When I see a smoke, I will infer that there is a fire. I have not seen the fire with my eyes. But when I see the smoke, I can infer because previously I have seen fire and the smoke always together. Previously, with my Pratyaksha Pramana, I can see the fire and the smoke always together. So now, when I see only the smoke, I can infer the fire. I come home from my office. I see a new pair of chappals outside my house. What do I infer? I infer that there is a guest in my house. I have not seen the guest. I have not seen the guest, but I only see a new pair of chappal. When I see a new pair of chappal or when I see a new car which is present in front of my house, what do I infer? I infer that there must be a new person inside my house. I don't have to see that person. It happens by inferring. It is called as Anumana Pramana. Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana. Next is Upamana Pramana. What is Upamana Pramana? I have not seen an object. I have gone for Niagara Falls. I have gone to Niagara to see Niagara Falls. I have to explain Niagara Falls to somebody else. He has not seen Niagara Falls. I have to explain how I have seen Niagara Falls to somebody else. Then I will just say, okay, it will be a horseshoe-shaped falls. There are 2 sides, one from Canada side, another is there is a United States side. It is a falls. There is going to be a lot of water. It is going to flow. It will be in the form of horseshoe. I will explain whatever I have seen in Niagara Falls to this person. This person has never been to Niagara Falls, but he can get a mental image of Niagara Falls with what I explain. Right? He can get a mental image of Niagara Falls. How? Through what I explain. Right? That is called as Upamana Pramana. That is a source of knowledge. Why? Because he gets the knowledge of Niagara Falls. He gets the knowledge of Niagara Falls, not by Pratyaksha. He has not seen Niagara Falls. not by Anumana. He has not inferred the Niagara Falls, but through Upamana, through example. Okay, Niagara Falls, it looks like a horseshoe shaped. He has seen only the horseshoe. He has seen a horseshoe, a ladam before. Now I'm saying, okay, it is going to be a horseshoe-like structure. He has not been to falls before, but he has seen like water falling down through rain. I'm going to say, hey, it is like rain, but multiplied 1,000-fold. So he has not seen anything to infer. He has seen bits and parcels, bits and parts of things through other, in other scenarios. But when I use those upamanas, when I use those as an example, he can get a comfortably good mental picture. It is called as upamana. Shastra accepts this as a source of knowledge. And then we have Arthapatti Anupalapti, which is very technical. We don't have to go to that. The main thing is Shastraha, Vedaha. The next pramana that Shastra gives is Veda as a pramana. Shastra as a pramana. What is pramana? Means of knowledge. Shastra is a means of knowledge. So whatever we have seen before, we have seen two features of means of knowledge, right? What are the two features? Each means of knowledge, it has got its own domain of working. That is number one. Number two, whatever that has been perceived by a means of knowledge can neither be confirmed nor be denied by other means of knowledge. We are seeing these two features of pramana, means of knowledge. Now we will inquire what are these two fields? What are the 2 points with respect to Shastra Pramana? Number one, what is the field of Shastra Pramana? The field of Shastra Pramana is Adrishtaha, Punyam, Papam, Swargam, Narakam, Moksha. These are the 5 fields. These are the domains of Shastra Pramana. Punyam. Nobody has seen Punyam. We can infer Punyam. We can infer Punyam, but we cannot see Punyam with our own eyes. We cannot see Papam with our own eyes. Right? If a person is enjoying in this Janma, we can infer that through Anumana Pramana. We can infer that, hey, he must have done something good before in the previous Janma. That is an inference. Again, the previous Janma, you have to come to Shastra to believe it. Right? So, Punyam Papa. Swarga Naraka. There is a Swarga. There is a Naraka. Nobody has seen. Nobody has told. We have a belief in Swarga Naraka. Why? Because Shastra says so. Because Veda says so. Swarga Kamo Yajeta. If you want to go to Swarga, you have to do Yajnam. What are the features of Swarga? If you do lots of Punyam, you go to Swarga Loka. If you do lots of Papam, you go to Naraka Loka. How do we know? We know because of Shastra. Right. So Swarga, Naraka, Punya, Papa, and Moksha. The freedom from the bondage of samsara. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam. Iha samsare bahu dustare. Kripaya pahe pahi mura. Kripaya pahe pari mura. Pahi mura. Right. Repeated birth and death cycle. How do we know? We need Shastra to explain that. We need Vedas to explain that, hey, in this Janma, you are enjoying lots of good things. How do you enjoy? Science cannot explain that. Science only says it is by random chance. What does science say? Why a baby is born for a certain parents? Science cannot explain that. Why a human being undergoes his experience? Science cannot explain that. Science says it is by random chance. What is very funny is that science wants to put everything into equation. Favorite thing of scientist is certainty. Go to a physicist. He wants to put each and every blessed thing into an order. He wants to find reason for each and every blessed thing. Why is Earth the place it is? He will write hundreds of equations. He will prove that, okay, this is how Earth has to be. I put some sugar on a coffee. I stir it. What is the path of sugar crystal? For a normal person, it looks like random. For a normal person, you take some sugar, you put into a coffee, you stir it. It is a random process, right? But science says no. You have an equation that can trace the path of each and every blessed sugar crystal inside your coffee. So that much deterministic is science. But if you go and ask a scientist, hey, why do I go through the experiences that I go through? He has no explanation. He will say, okay, random. That is why Einstein said God does not play dice with life. Okay, so that is the irony of science. They want to put each and everything into equation, into order, but they cannot put everything into equations. They have to rely on chance for explaining a majority of things. The origin of universe, Big Bang, no explanation. Chance. It is left to chance. Why is Planck's constant the value that it is? Chance. Why is gravitational constant has the value that it has got? Chance. But he will explain every blessed thing inside the universe with Planck's constant. He will write hundreds of equations with the gravitational constant. You go and ask a scientist, why is gravitational constant the value that it has got? Why is Planck's constant the value that it has got? Why is Avogadro number the value that it has got? Chance. Why should life, why should I experience the experiences that I have got? Chance. Science has no way of explaining all these things. But Shastra says, hey, you will have all those equations to explain every blessed physical entity in this universe. I have my own equations. I have my own equations. Why a person has been born in that family? Science will say chance. But Shastra will say, hey, it is because of his Purva Janma Karma. It is because of his Punya Papa. That is what Krishna is also going to say in Bhagavad Gita. Right? So, rebirth. Only Shastra can explain. There is no other pramana that can either confirm rebirth or deny rebirth. Because one pramana cannot confirm or deny another pramana. Right? Eyes cannot confirm or deny what nose has perceived. Nose cannot confirm or deny what ears have perceived. Ears cannot confirm or deny what tongue has perceived. Tongue cannot confirm or deny what skin has perceived. Skin cannot confirm or deny what eyes have perceived. In the same way, our physical organs of knowledge, including our mind, because we take mind as an organ of knowledge. Why? Because all the anumana, upamana, inference, example, all these things happens in your mind, right? So Shastra, according to Shastra, mind is also an organ of knowledge. Inference happens in your mind, right? Inference is anumana. Upamana also happens in your mind. So your eyes, nose, ears, tongue, skin, including your mind and intellect, cannot confirm or deny what Vedas have told. Because Vedas are a valid source of knowledge. We have to have that buddhi before starting any Shastra studies. It is called as Shraddha in Shastras. What is Shraddha? Shraddha, we all have an idea of different meanings of Shraddha. Right. The real meaning of Shraddha is having Guru Shastra Upadesha as pramana, as a means of knowledge. Having faith in Guru Shastra. Because Vedas, it can only be learnt from a Guru. Shastras, it can only be learnt from a Guru. Without Guru, Shastras and Vedas, we cannot learn. Without a Guru, Shastras and Vedas can never be learnt. If we learn it, it will be anartha. So what is a Shraddha? Shraddha is having faith in Guru Shastra Upadesha. Having pramanatva buddhi in Guru Shastra Vakya is called as Shraddha. Why I am telling all these things? Because Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Krishna as Jagadguru is going to explain Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna says, "Hey Krishna, please accept me as your Sishya. Sishyasteham chadimam mam prapadhye," says Arjuna to Bhagavan Krishna. Only then Krishna starts to speak in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters. In the first chapter, Krishna does not open his mouth at all. Only Arjuna speaks. Arjuna Vishada Yogaha. Only Arjuna speaks. Arjuna laments. Only in the second chapter, when Arjuna does Sharanagati to Krishna. Hey Krishna, I don't know what to do. Please tell me what to do. Please accept me as your Sishya. Says Arjuna to Krishna. So that is why Krishna is called as Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. And what does Krishna say? Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Yoga Shastre. Bhagavad Gita is called as a Shastra. And even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Hey Arjuna, this is not my knowledge. This is not my discovery. This is not my invention. It has been told in Vedas. This knowledge is present in Vedas. I am only putting that in a different words to suit your expectations," says Krishna. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, we need to have Shraddha in Guru, that is Krishna, Shastra, that is Bhagavad Gita's messages. We need to have a pramanatva buddhi. So please do not try to confirm Bhagavad Gita with other means of knowledge. Please do not try to deny Bhagavad Gita with other means of knowledge. It leads to lots of anartha. Normally, astikas, they will be very happy. Science proves Vedas. We should never get into the trap. Science can never prove Vedas. Science can never disprove Vedas. Right. So we have to have that clarity in mind. I thought I will give you introduction to Bhagavad Gita, but having knowledge of Pramanam is very, very important. Not only for Bhagavad Gita, for any other Shastra Vichara, for any other studies of Shastra. So in the next class, we will continue with the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. The introduction is going to be bigger. Why we have to give all these introductions is that these are the prerequisites for studying Bhagavad Gita. Without these knowledge, when we study Bhagavad Gita will not make sense. So we have to have these understandings before we study Gita. And because we will be studying Gita in a very traditional manner, in a traditional explanation, we need to have a very good understandings of these. So this, we will finish today's class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi. Thanks a lot. In the next class, bye bye.